first official teaser trailer for Venom just dropped recently, and while the film's been announced a long time ago, it's now just hitting me that this thing is actually happening. For the longest time, the very idea behind the standalone Venom movie just sounded like one of those "hold up, let me put you on hold indefinitely" kind of ideas. At first, the heads at Marvel claimed that it would be completely separate from the Avengers world and the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But half a year ago, one of the Sony people said otherwise.
So there is a chance that Tom Holland as Spider-Man will pop up somewhere over there.
Did you hear that? 800 words!
The last time anyone has said anything about it, both Marvel and Sony agreed to say that they take place in a separate Sony world, but in the same reality, contradicting themselves within the span of 2 seconds. People have been speculating that that's just business for they don't really know either. They want to wait to see if the movie is well received first, and then officially declare whether it really is in the MCU. Others have said it might play a role similar to that of the Netflix shows, but even that's kind of reaching. And now there are numerous amounts of reports and rumors that suggest that Tom Holland's Spider-Man himself will appear in the movie. After that, the whole situation just got even murkier and muddier than ever before. Spider-Man is indeed a key player in Venom's life. Venom without Spider-Man is like Crocs without those little shoe charms. He'd trip on himself without the personality contrasts he has with Spider-Man. Their chemistry together is what makes them who they are. The very character of Venom should not exist if Spider-Man does not exist in the same world. Before I say anything else, I want to be very clear. Spider-Man is essential in building Eddie Brock's Venom. But here's my opinion. I think they should have cast another Spider-Man. Before I can even explain what I'm saying, I probably triggered a lot of people. No, go ahead. Get it out of your mouth. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Disliked 3 times. Seriously, how thick is thick silver? Hear me out on this one. I do not hate Tom Holland. I'm not saying they should recast Tom Holland. He is a wonderful Spider-Man, and they've clearly established him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which allows him to spend time with the Avengers and all that great stuff. But the fact that he's already in the MCU is the very problem. If he shows up at all in the Venom movie, as basically the same exact character, Sony or Marvel does not need to say a single word. It automatically means that Venom is in the MCU. Why? Because the general movie-going audience doesn't know diddly squat about MCU, or the DCEU, or the X-Men CU, or the CU. To them, this can all be happening in the same world. More than 90% of the film-going audience don't read comics. Half the time not even knowing who's who anymore, with so many superhero films all coming out so close to one another. If Tom Holland is in it, and he's in it as Spider-Man, you can say that Venom's not connected to the bigger Marvel universe all you want, but because Tom Holland's face is in both universes, as basically the same exact character, that same 90% of the audience is going to believe that these are indeed all connected, even if it's later said that they're 2 separate universes. So this is how they could deal with it. Tom Holland can still be the Spider-Man of the MCU. He can still be that Peter Parker that knows the Avengers and goes to high school. While the Spider-Man on the flip side with Venom is a different iteration of the character entirely. He can still be a high schooler, while also being a wisecracking, outgoing guy inside the suit and a quiet nobody outside of it. But make this Spider-Man fit the Marvel world of Sony's vision, not Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios, the guys who had deep creative control in every single Avengers-related movie and Spider-Man Homecoming, have no say at all in this one. It's Sony that does. And they haven't had the best track record as of late with this property. By saying that Venom is in the MCU with an entirely different team of visionaries, not only do you tie yourself down in terms of world building, you also have a completely different team that doesn't know any of the other plans that are going forward with the MCU. A whole slew of continuity errors are just gonna start coming out of nowhere like white on rice. For all we know, Vulture could get killed in Homecoming 2 in 2020, and in 2021 he just shows up in Venom 2 like,
"Hey guys, what's going on?"
So that's why I'm saying they should have 2 different Spider-Men in 2 different universes. Cast a new actor to be Spider-Man in Sony's Marvel movies, and keep Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the Avengers Marvel movies. They wouldn't have to do another origin story. They could do it any way they would want to. But this way, you get rid of the scenario where everyone gets confused about when and where things are happening in the bigger Marvel universe. And this also allows both Sony and Marvel to have more freedom to create. Would I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man to fight a Venom down the line in the MCU? Sure I would. I just don't think putting him in a movie as the same character, who's not really the same character, but let's be honest, he is the same character, in a movie that's set in a world not confirmed to be in the Avengers universe as of yet. Let's just say October comes by, and the Venom movie comes out. If what many believe turns out to be true, if the question about whether Sony's Venom movie will be officially set in the MCU is left unknown still, just cause the studios want to wait and see if everyone truly does like it, and only then will they officially say that it's really in the same world, and Tom Holland's Peter Parker does show up in the actual film, then what happens if it flops? Not saying that it will, but really think about this one. What happens if the early reactions and reviews by critics point to the fact that the film is inadequate, saying that it's bad or even terrible? What happens if it underperforms at the box office? Love or hate some of the MCU movies, none of them are universally hated. The filmmakers behind them know what they're doing, and this is the first one where they have absolutely no say in. This is the biggest risk of theirs if Venom does end up being in the same shared world. If the movie turns out to be good, then none of this is even a thing to worry about. Just say it's in the Marvel world where everyone else is like planned and all will be nice and dandy. But if it fails as a standard film, and both Marvel and Sony confirm that it is indeed a separate film from everything else down the road, it'll be too late. The majority of the movie-going audience will have already considered this a part of the MCU because his beautiful face bridges the two together. I was never planning on making this video, but I just wanted to get my 2 thoughts out there. Anyways, that's enough from me. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm not saying my way is the right way. I really want to hear what you have to say about this. Because right now, it all just sounds like a volcano getting ready to erupt. Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you found this video to be pretty great, then be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, come on over and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And for more of my videos, just click right here.